It's already recording.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for connecting to your or AIQ Connect. And before we start, I want to share some amazing news about Miami. So I'm gonna be sharing. So let me. So we are ready for Miami. I want to show you our launching video before it goes public. You're gonna be the first ones to know. So it's
Cold this winter? Come and get warm with us in Miami.
Learning about AI for image consultants at the beach? Yes, please. Welcome to Miami.
Beauty, image, and innovation. See how AI enhances every client experience. Design your best process. Color, proportion, and text. Working together for clarity.
With Miami, the base and the sunset low. Every day like a Mardi Gras. Everybody party all day. No work, all play, okay? So we sip a
So we're just gonna explain a little bit what is about Miami. So it's an immersion on style tech.
Okay.
So it's the future of style, AI and technology and image consulting. The dates are gonna be Monday, February the 2nd and Tuesday, February the 3rd in Miami. So the first day, we are gonna have two amazing speakers that have a lot of experience with AI. So I'm gonna have Andrea to talk to them, to talk to us about them.
Would you like me to do that now?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. So my goal with scheduling speakers was to find someone who was the technological person who could educate us in the most clear way. There were a lot of guys I met along the research who were more, I thought, into entertaining and grabbing business rather than educating. And I really wanted to focus on someone who had credentials, experience, and that sort of personal touch in educating us because it's basic for me, and I'm assuming it's somewhat basic for the rest of us. And I think that it's critical that we understand the ins and outs of it. So Diego's lovely, a good-looking guy, and devoting himself completely to this, and has a lot of experience in teaching. And then the second person is Sean Boyer. Sean Boyer is the founder of Anatomy, which is an omni brand, and his designing over the last, he's been in business over 16 years. He's evolved his own sort of AI brain, I'm going to call it that he has developed that understands him and his customer. And he's created a whole system to help him design what the client actually needs, utilizing AI. So he's really cool. He's very innovative, very smart, very attractive, and successful. So he will be talking about it from more of a direct application within the industry and how that is changing how design is considered and built in response to clients.
Thank you, Andrea. So that is great. And then so we have two experts. We're gonna talk about AI for a small business. That's the main thing. And then we're gonna have a networking lunch. This is the location where we're gonna have all the events. It's an amazing building with a lot of style. You're gonna love it. And then we're gonna have a panel. So we want image consultants to talk about the experience with AI. So this is gonna grow. We're probably gonna have more people, but these are the ones that we have in mind right now. Okay. And then we are gonna have a sunset networking dinner. And Lisa, you wanna talk to us a little bit about it? I don't know if Lisa is here.
Sure. So if you're
Yeah.
familiar with Miami at all, there's an area called Coconut Grove. It's a really artsy, awesome area with restaurants and shops and so on. And there's a restaurant there called the Bayshore Club Restaurant. It's waterfront. And so we're going to have a family style dinner there and networking event on the evening of February 2nd.
And then the next day, thank you, Lisa. The next day, we're gonna have fun. Okay, like so at 10 a.m., Saks in Brickell is gonna open the store just for us, and it's gonna give us a private class about personal shopping and the history of the brands that they have at Saks. What are the favorite brands for all the personal shoppers there? They have a room that they can open up for our clients in Miami, and they are gonna give us access to that room, give us the process, how to book clients and book that room for our clients. So it's all amazing. And then we're gonna have a networking lunch. And then in the evening, we are gonna go to the Dior Cafe that is in Miami. And then we have a surprise dinner event that we're gonna announce probably next week. Okay, so this is all. Remember, every time we have events in the US, we have one day for a lot with a lot of education, and then the next day is the opportunities for us to connect, to meet new people. We are targeting new stylists in Miami that are gonna come, so we want them to experience that we are a community, right? So that's pretty much the price. Early bird before December 15 is $250 for members, $295 for non-members, and then after December 15 is $295 for members, $325 for non-members. So registration will be open today. Um, these are the three preferred hotels, okay? This is a small event. It's only for 30 people. And so we have these options for hotels. Um, we also have a lot of people who's doing Airbnbs and sharing rooms, which is okay. But I mean, these are the preferred hotels. And hopefully you can join us. We're gonna have a lot of fun and we're gonna learn a lot about AI. So now let's introduce Carla.
You know, I
So
was
we are, so Edwards, you wanna?
Yes.
Mhm.
Like she really needs an introduction. She's like
Maybe
Cher. You
like
just
no,
say,
sir.
Carla.
Carla.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll read the introduction as well. Carla Mathis is a globally respected pioneer in the industry and one of 18 AICI certified image masters, CIM, in the world. Mentored for 18 years by Suzanne Cagle, founder, the image consulting field. Carla has spent many decades evolving the legacy with masterful, compassionate teaching as the author, which I'm a proud owner of. To me, a lot and it's not only about imaging, but it's also about art too, which is great. Um, as the author of Triumph of Individual Style, known by many as the Bible, of course, of our industry, Carla has trained and mentored professionals around the globe. She is also a founding member of both AICI and Color Designers International. I'm honored to present Carla Mathis.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, you know, I was thinking as we're going about AI, we need to know about AI. But what my session today is all about is the opposite of AI. So AI gets us all this information on the outside, but the what's important to me and what I want to share with you is that we have to get to the inside. So there's real transformation. So why is it that you do the work we're doing? I just quickly, if someone says, what is the primary reason you doing other than making a living?
Well, I personally, it's Andrea speaking. I just literally got out of the closet with a client the last 2 days who literally has everything. Her husband was a major.
Can you make it really quick? Quick.
Yeah. Okay. So the point is, what I gave and got to her was the inside out. That these people want to be touched and heard and seen, so they feel good in their skin. I mean, it's the most joyous thing.
Right. Anyone else?
I do this to help my clients build confidence and learn to like themselves again.
Yep.
Or maybe for the first time.
Or maybe for the first time.
This is
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding.
Yeah, um it's the transformation. It's getting to the inside so we know who that person really is.
Yes.
Um for years I was really I kind of wanted to be like one of the image consultants that I knew early on. She's no longer on this planet. Lovely person, but she dressed everyone kind of the same way she was. And I went, I love what she's doing, but I there's more. There is more. And so it's over the years I've developed sort of processes to get quickly into the heart of your client. And I'd love to step you through these if you'd like to do that. Would you like to do that? If you don't like to do that, don't, that's okay. But some of you will like to do that. So, um, when, in order to get to know the person, it's really hard. I mean, we don't really know all the ins and outs of our best friend, maybe. But I've discovered that if we ask our clients to find pictures of images that they love of nature, gardens, and anything other than clothes that they find thrilling, and then describe what it is that they find thrilling, wow, we can learn a lot. And then I might say, and I'll ask you to do this now. So, could you tell me your favorite garment growing up? So, I'd love to have you do this. Can you tell me your favorite garment growing up? Like 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. Did you have a little dress or a little jumper or a little something that
I'll
you
jump in here. I'll jump in. I had a yellow jumpsuit with a rainbow color shirt underneath. It was so whimsical and fun and summery.
Yeah. And any others? Nellie, I saw you
Oh,
nodding your head. What was your outfit? Nellie, did I see you? I saw
I
someone.
oh,
can jump.
I could. Oh,
Go,
Okay.
Camille. Go, Camille.
oh, okay. I had a cute little gray and pink tweed coat with a little faux fur Peter Pan collar. And I used to wear these little muffs with it, like a muff to
Yeah,
put your hands in. And I
right.
was very young. And then I got into all the little mini skirts um, back in the day. Color
Right.
coordinated with the tights, that kind of thing.
So
Yeah.
anyone else?
Mine
I
was
remember,
mine
oh,
too.
sorry. Go ahead,
Right.
Edwards.
No, go ahead, Rebecca.
It was kindergarten, first grade. I had a little plaid dress. It was from Sears. It was Winnie the Pooh brand. I even
Yeah.
knew back then. And it had like ruffles, had puff sleeves and ruffles and lace, but it was this really pretty dark wintry plaid. And I just felt so special when I got to wear it.
The, what interesting thing to me is that whatever the qualities were about that little dress that you loved, or that little outfit that you loved,
Mhm.
those are the qualities we need to sort of revisit for our adult life today. Um, I just gave a training, a 5-day training, and there were 2 people, lovely women, that could not remember an outfit that they loved. And so their assignment is
Mhm.
to make a Pinterest board of clothes that they would dress their young self as a child. Now, what happens when that exercise is accomplished is they realize all the qualities that are locked in their heart, waiting to be expressed in their adult life. So if you have a client that can't remember, know that it's probably a good thing. It could have been a safety issue. Often it's something around that. But it's really important to go back to the beginning and then little by little look at all the qualities of the clothes that they find really th not thrilling, but just lovely. Make feel so they feel special. I had a client that um, loved Pippi Longstocking, and she was an IBM executive that was very severe and structured. And she walked kind of like Pippi Longstocking. And I said, wouldn't it be wonderful if you could have some of that quality of kind of delight? And she went, oh, I don't know how to do that. I said, well, let's work on that. And we did. And she was able to bring some of those little quirky qualities into her wardrobe. And then what that happened is that it expanded her life. So she was more authentic. Our goal is to help our clients become authentic so they can tell the truth about who they are in the world today. So that's one exercise I do. Another exercise is if you're married and had a wedding dress, or if you're not married and you'd like to think about a wedding dress, what would that wedding dress be? Did you love your wedding dress? Anyone? Did anyone have a wedding dress that they loved?
I did. I'm Italian, and my wedding dress was all Venetian lace.
Oh,
And it was fitted. And at the time, I loved off the shoulder, but it was off the shoulder and a little wavy like the ocean.
whoa. And you felt like an Italian queen princess.
Yes.
Right. Right. So there's something about that quality of what? Of history, of elegance, of grace that needs to be in your present day. Does that resonate?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Anything that connects me to my heritage,
Right.
and any way I can wear that without, looking like the Italian flag.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Anyone else have a wedding dress that they
Oh,
loved? Camille, you've already spoken. So is there someone
oh,
else?
sorry. Okay.
Camille, I'm just going to try and keep us all.
Well, I can spoke.
Yeah, yeah. What did you
So,
say,
so
Linda?
I got married on the beach, and it was a very light dress, very elegant, make a very light material, very simple, with a lot of like curves, and it was flowy. When they had the pictures taken, the dress was like the wind was like lifting the dress because it was so light. It was so beautiful.
Mm.
So I like, now that you mentioned that, it makes sense. That's how I look when I look for clothes. That's what I look.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Something that, how would you describe the feeling that you had?
It was soft, and it
Yeah,
was a very good material, very high quality,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
was flowy and light.
yeah. So
So I
nothing,
don't like when my clothes are uncomfortable. So I can say that my wedding dress was very comfortable.
yeah, yeah. So that means your clothes today need to be very comfortable
Yeah.
and nothing too strict.
No, exactly.
Uh-huh. So see, we get clues all along the way of what our client needs if we just ask the questions. So one thing that I want to encourage you is when you ask these questions, wait, don't surmise. So when I asked the question about the wedding dress, and this client this last couple of weeks said, I hated my wedding dress. And I was just quiet. I went, wow, tell me about that. Wait. And little by little, she said, why she really, the dress wasn't the issue. It was that she didn't have any choice. So if I had sort of barreled through and said, "Oh, wow, wow, that's awful," making a judgment, then it would have stopped the information. But by sitting with it, just going, "Wow." That word wow is great. I learned that in England. Oh no, what I really learned was mm, wow. Wait, it's that pregnant pause, allowing your client to process and bring up the memories. Sometimes, in giving time for the process to bring up the memory, tears will come. So always have tissues on hand. And then when the tears come, sit with that. Don't make a judgment with that either. It's like, oh, okay. Tell me about that.
Hmm.
Tell me about that. Not tell me about that. Wow. But just it's softly entering the sweet, sacred spot of the soul, the heart of your client. You cannot force your way in. It's a quiet, and exciting. And when there's see, I'm gonna put that, yeah. Often when I'm just not getting a connection with a client. Have you ever had that happen? Anybody? It's like, what am I gonna do with this? They're not giving me any information. Um, I'll say, I found that there are there's a lot of information that will help you reach your goals, which are to, and talk about the goals again. I want either I want a promotion, I want to look better, I want whatever, I want to know how to shop, whatever it is. And I'll say, so on a scale, and I'm going to have you all do this, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being fabulous and 10, I know, being horrible, and 10 being fabulous. Okay, 1 being horrible and 10 being fabulous. How effective were your primary caregivers in affirming your being rather than your doing, what you did? So in the beingness, that meant just the very fact that you were there in their family, what a gift you were. And the doing is getting good grades, being a good athlete, staying out of trouble, cleaning your room, whatever it is that you needed to do to get affirmation. That's not being affirmed for your being. So on a scale, I'll give you an example with me. On a scale of 1 to 10, I had two areas of my life. First area was my family of origin. Absolutely amazing. An emotionally healthy little farming family. 2 grandmas lived with us. It was very sort of European in our way of going about life. And we all worked, and it was very affirming, very affirming. But then at 13 to 19 months, I was put in Shriners Hospital in isolation without parents being able to see me, and I became an abandoned baby. So I had no affirmation. I was abandoned emotionally. I had the bond with my family was broken. So on one hand, I had affirmation, but on the other hand, I was an abandoned child, so I had to perform to be perfect so I wouldn't be abandoned again.
And Carla, just for those who might not know, she was born with some deformities of her hand and feet. And so that's why she went into the hospital so young to get that corrected.
And I was in and out of hospital until I was 14. So I know what it feels like to not being affirmed. And I know what it feels like to be affirmed. And there's a huge difference. So what are some of your numbers? Oh, a lot of my clients have a -2, by the way. Just so you know that it's any numbers? How is that for you to think about that? Is that kind of scary?
No.
Or I see a little smile here, Connie. You're muted, Connie.
Yeah, hi, hello everyone. Hello from Nairobi. It's interesting because I can't put a number to it, but I'm gonna give you some examples of my childhood has been, great. I'm a last born, so everyone kind of, made sure everything was okay. We're three sisters. But interesting thing, since I was like maybe 8, 6, 7 years old, I had to wear glasses. So I was always the kid in the class with the, two pussycat, ponytails here and the big glasses and all. So that was almost geeky. So I kind of remember almost being like a kind of geek. Then another thing was my thumb, I don't know if you guys can see, is very differently shaped.
Yeah.
It's not the normal thumb, and my nail is like almost like quarter millimeter. So that was, something that was very unique about me. So a couple of people made fun, but not too many. But I always was conscious about it, and I used to suck my thumb. So it's those are some of the things that I remember vividly, but I don't know what number to put, but those are things that are very striking that I don't forget about being in my childhood.
Yeah.
That they didn't break my confidence, but I was aware of them. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it be accurate to say that your parents, it wasn't a big issue for your parents other than they just cared for you?
Yeah, yeah. They just and the love and the support that I got from my older sister and everyone. So I was like, okay, maybe everyone's thumb doesn't look like me, but whatever. Yeah, yeah.
So you didn't have you weren't shamed at home.
No, 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 no,
Okay. So
no.
that is
Yeah.
such positive
Wow. Okay.
support to you as you grow into an adult to be
Yeah. Yeah.
have confidence as an
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah.
But I find that with my hands being really different, I mean really
Mm,
different, um,
oh, yeah.
that it's a gift because
Mm,
you could come to me and say, "Oh, I'm really not happy with my thumb. It's embarrassing to me." And I'd say, "Oh, well, you know what? I
mm,
have my hands like that too. And only
yeah.
mine are all over. And it just makes me special. And that makes you special.
Yeah.
And so that means, wow, we get to do kind of little unusual things with our clothes to let people know that we're a little bit different and a little bit
Yeah. True. Very true. Very true.
right.
Very true. Yeah.
So all of the all of the experiences in childhood, positive as well as negative, help us grow into the compassionate, beautiful, loving people that are called to go into this field.
True. Very true.
And I think it's going into this field is a calling. It, our work is so important to affirm the soul of the person that didn't have the affirmation.
Yeah.
And okay, anyone else with a number? Hmm? I know. It's kind of so my number was going to be a 2 and a 10. And when there's been abuse, sexual, physical, emotional, often the number is -2. And it has nothing to do with one's present status. in life, in their work or in their finances. Um, I was sexually abused at 4. An itinerant took me into the Orange Grove, but my little soul had already been seared, so it wasn't that traumatic. But anytime there has been abuse of that sort, it takes a lot of healing to get through that. Um, and working with someone on the inside to affirm their being helps the healing. So actually what our work can be is very healing on a deep emotional level. Has anyone experienced that? Erin, you have. Yeah, Rebecca. Talk to me, Rebecca. Yeah.
With a client, I have a client who was raised in a cult, sexually abused by her own father, has all kinds of identity issues. She came to me. She's been working with me almost 3 years now. She's a retainer client, so we work together constantly. But everything from last year, I took her shopping and she needed shoes. And I said, okay, we're shopping for shoes today. And she said, oh, I should probably tell you, I have shoe trauma too. And I was like, shoe trauma. So we had to work through shoe trauma. But there's lots of things that it's been really beautiful to think back to who she was when she came to me and who she is now. And when you see the side by side pictures of her currently versus how she first came, you see it in her eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that gives me goosebumps because that's the depth of this work. That's what we really are called to do. It's not just about putting the right clothes on to go to work. It's about putting clothes and accessories on that express who this person is on a deep soul level. And the more they express that in a way that's positive and beautiful, the more they heal. So it's kind of works, it keeps working forward with that. Clothes are really, really important that they express, and clothes and accessories, because they either hide who we are. Sometimes they hide who our client is that's too flashy for the client. So we've got, what we want is that middle ground so they can express different ways, but their core is always there. We always know who they are. Does it anyone else have an experience they can share about the sort of healing quality of the work you do? Yeah.
Well, I can share. I have a client and her husband owns like a chain of hotels. And he's like, I need to hire you because I have a lot of events and my wife is too simple for my events. So when I get into his house, it was this amazing house next to the ocean, beautiful. And his wife was very simple. So she dressed very simple. They have 3 kids, and she was completely devoted to the kids. And he will say, every time we have an event, I see all of these beautiful women. And my wife is so simple. She doesn't like to wear makeup. She doesn't do her hair. She wear very simple cotton, clothes. And, all we have to, I mean, I had to work a lot on her, like her confidence and her self-esteem because she hears so many times these abuse words from her husband. Um, so we had to design something that was comfortable for her, right? But at the same time, it has a little bit of presence for the events. And she was like a model. I mean, that woman without makeup looks amazing. She was tall, very skinny. She loves exercising. And when we finished the consultation, he has like a huge event, and we show up in the event, And it was so rewarding to see how the husband even didn't recognize her. So she was walking into the van and the husband was walking out. He saw me. He's like, "Where is my wife?" And I'm like, "She just passed next to you." It was so rewarding to see that. Like he's like, "Oh my God, she's like a model." And then later on, 2 years later, um, he contacted me and said, "You created a monster. Now she can stop buying clothes and getting makeup." And I said, "You have a treasure with that wife. Being that simple and beautiful. She didn't really need any of that. But it was just, I'm very rewarding to help somebody to heal."
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. The 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 key here, I think, is to sort of evaluate what's going on with the husband, what's going on with the wife. How do you let both of them know to see the positives of each? Because it's really easy for what we do as an individual often is we project what we want. So I don't know if this is true, but possibly the husband was much more visual in his life. Yeah. And he wanted that for his wife. And now the wife probably didn't want that for her husband. So how do you put those together? It's letting him know to support and honor her simplicity at home, and then the two decide when it's important to show up. So I do this a lot in the interiors when I do houses between men. I call it interior design therapy with the men and the women. And that's really what we do with our clients is a form of therapy to get to the reason you have some attitudes, and do you need to have those attitudes anymore?
Mm.
Do you need to move into a new way of thinking about you or about your husband? All right. Uh, we have 15 more minutes.
Carla, I think there's Lula, when do you want to have people start answering their question? Like at 10 till or?
I mean, if we can. So did you finish, Carla? Or
Not quite, but I
just
wanted
just
to
finish?
know
It's very
I'm
interesting, the
just
topic.
helping Carla know how
I
much time
think
she has left for her.
I think, Erin, we have been participating in sharing, so
Yeah,
it's
that's
good
fine.
enough.
So we don't have
Yeah,
to do the question. Okay.
exactly. Let's just do that. Let's
Uh,
finish because the topic is amazing. Mhm.
Yeah, and Carla, one of the powerful, I'd love to hear you talk more about the body assessment, body image assessment, and affirmation questions. Those are so good.
I know. I often will say, and here's a kind of fun thing to do. Okay, if you had I say to a client, male or female. Females are usually easier. Males are a little, they get a little stuck. But females, if you had a magic wand and could put in a change order on your body, like, in building a house, a change order, you're going to change the size of that window. What would your change order be? Where, where are you happy with your body and where are you not? Where would you like it to be different? And then we mark those down. And throughout the consultation, it's a way of showing the client that what she doesn't like can actually be an asset. And it really makes her unique and special. Um, in fact, let's do that assignment right now. If you had a magic wand and you could change anything in your body, what would it be? Do your boobs need to be bigger, smaller? Your eyes bigger, smaller? Your tummy not there at all? That's ridiculous. Your tush fuller, not so full. Your thighs, oh my goodness, thunder thighs. Maybe you'd like them not be there. Hmm? What is it? A lot of times, what we think we would change came from messages in our early childhood. So, for instance, for me, my brother, who was, I think, a little bit jealous of me, I got so much attention as a baby, and he's older, and suddenly he didn't get the attention as much. Anyway, he teased me a lot. And he said I had buck teeth, pinhead, and freckle face. So I carried buck teeth, pinhead, freckle face into my 30s. Yeah. And I don't have buck teeth. I've not had any teeth done. I had little, and I do have a small head, but my freckles don't show if I'm not out in the sun. So I thought I was brawny, ugly, and right. That's kind of what I carried. And it wasn't until, yeah, my 30s, sort of, I realized, oh, maybe I'm not. So, any of you have any change orders or messages that it's time to let go?
Well, my hair, I wear my hair straight for like 20 years because my grandma was like, you can't go out like this with that hair. It's too messy. So I straightened it out for 20 years and until I said, enough is enough. It take me hours to do this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now, and I had to work myself in the mirror many times, like, your hair is fine. I love your hair, right? In
Yeah.
order to change that mentality.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
And to forgive your grandma.
Yeah,
You
I
go in
did.
that way.
I did, yeah.
It was not helpful.
With our clients, when you ask that question, what would you change about yourself? That can often kind of lead to that next question of how old were you when you first started feeling that your body or
Right.
something was not okay? And a lot of times, like Carla was saying with her brother, it does go back to like a specific comment from a sibling, a parent, a friend, anyone.
Or
So,
yourself as a teenager.
yeah.
I didn't develop any breasts until I was like pregnant, really. I was 23. Um, and now they're okay. But I didn't think I was okay because I was so flat. Surely I wasn't a girl, but I was a girl. I don't know. It was interesting, and everyone has this interesting kind of dynamic. I had these wonderful parents that thought I was fabulous and just adored me for being. And then I took all these other messages and just kept held on to them. And it's not fair to yourself. What messages are you holding on to? I mean, Lula, good for you. You overcame your hair. You now love your curly hair. I don't know if you love it, but it's fabulous, by the way.
I
I
love it
could share,
now.
Carla.
Yeah.
I could
Share.
share. My mom was always very well endowed, and I am not. So she would always make comments. It's a shame you have like your body is more an Andreola body like your dad than my side of the family because we're all well endowed. And
Mhm.
so I grew up with that self-consciousness of, and Carla, just like you said, like I don't have any boobs. So I felt less than.
That's
So I would
right.
always try to wear things that like ruffles or something. Even my wedding gown had ruffles on it, even though it was off the shoulder, it had a ruffle around the breast. So something to conceal. But as I aged and as I watched my mom age, her boobs became more of a hindrance
Oh, yes.
because they were too big and her back was hurting and they were always in the way. So it turned into being a blessing that I have small boobs. And this was funny and yet not funny. I mean,
I
she
know.
was actively dying and she was on the bed and she grabbed her boobs, which were down to her waist, and she said, "What is this?" And I said, "They're your boobs. I don't want these here." She said, I'm like, Well, now it's a blessing that I say to myself, I'm never going to have to worry about having boobs on my waist.
I know. Anyone else? Do you know, I feel that your brains are going like this, that your thoughts are going around. Is there any chance you could share some of those thoughts? Positive, negative, it doesn't matter.
I'll
Rebecca.
share. If I could change anything, it would be to have a smaller waist. And then when you all brought up, like, when did you start feeling that way or why? So, growing up throughout my teens, 20s, I was always applauded and complimented that I had this amazing figure and this really small waist. And I'm 6 feet tall and I was built like a model. And so it was always a thing. Like I had this great figure and people would say, oh, you can wear anything. So now as I approach my late 50s, 2 children, menopause, I no longer have that small waist and that amazing figure. But I do remember after the birth of my second son, my father said something to me about my waist. And I think that's when it started.
Right.
I was no longer praised, it was called out as an issue.
So, and what's interesting is that you were praised for a physical,
Yes,
not for who you were.
a physical attribute and not anything that I did to achieve that. I was just tall, and when you're tall, you tend to be slimmer, especially during your developmental years. I didn't diet, I didn't exercise, so I was praised for something I didn't achieve
Yeah.
and then called out when
Oh,
I matured and slowed down.
so I call that an ouch,
Yeah.
you know,
Time.
and often with a client when there's some, reveals like you just did, Rebecca, I'll go, ooh, ouch. That's an ouch.
Appropriate.
Yeah. And what would you have liked to have your dad say to you?
I think that I would like to have him not comment on my physical appearance, but maybe comment on what a great mother I was
Yes.
for staying home with my children and
Yes.
raising my children well.
And what a difference that would make to your sense of self. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So often, and actually, I did this with 2 clients recently. We tend to have clients come to us that need us, you know, whatever our background is. And I seem to have a lot of clients, not a lot, about a third, that really need that inner healing things. And so this one had a background of a lot of emotional abuse with zingers, these statements, too bad. What was the one? Oh, it really doesn't matter what we put on you, whether we pay for it or not. You never look great. Now, saying that to a 7-year-old.
Hmm.
Oh, that's an ouch. I mean, those went all along. So the exercise is, and you can write this down. How are we doing for time? We have 4 minutes. The exercise is write down the statement, who wrote it, what your response was, what you would have liked to have had that person say. Can you forgive that person? And when do you forgive yourself for believing it?
Hmm.
Now, that last one is really important. And so this woman is going to have binders full because she remembers, she's in her 70s and she remembers every statement, negative statement that she's carrying around, and she has to get that out. I do this with guys. I'm much more direct. Okay, who said something? You're so skinny. Wow. And this guy was, oh, you're so skinny, your nose is too big. It's too bad you aren't going to get the girls kind of thing.
Oh,
And, how awful. And when I worked with him and then I dressed him and I said, you're going to have to really spend some money. You need Italian fabrics that move with your bony body. I didn't say bony, your live body. I always make really nice words for whatever they say. Um, and um, I took him to Saks, and I knew the manager and I went, I'm bringing in a guy, and I want you to dress him. I don't care what the cost is. Not over the top because he right now is in construction. He was an artist and it was in IT actually years before. But so when he got him dressed and he stood in front of the mirror. This guy went, "Oh my word." And literally tears came to his eyes. He saw himself for the first time as a really handsome, great guy. Men need it.
Carla, I'm sorry to have to jump in and say we've got 1 minute before we have to hop
All
on.
right.
So I don't know if Lula wants to wrap up or.
I cannot thank you enough for being here, for hearing about, I'm encouraging you to go deeper with your clients in a way that is so gentle. And I'm encouraging you to listen with your heart without making judgments. That's the really important thing. So, Erin, you told me to say something and I can't remember what I was supposed to say.
Just if anyone wants to spend more time with Carla and be mentored by Carla, please get in touch with us. We have different training courses and it's wonderful. So, get in touch with us if you're interested in that.
Thank you. I thank you for the beauty of your hearts. And I hope to see you soon. I would love to. Every image consultant needs an image consultant. I do. Aaron and my son are my image consultants. And so I would love to be your image consultant if you would have any idea. Hi, Cindy. If you have any idea that you'd like to have a bit of a touch me up.
Yeah, I have been working with Carla and she's nailing it. So I love her. I think this session was wonderful, Carla. Thank you so much. We learned so much. Sometimes we focus only on the physical aspect, right? The color, the measurements, and we are missing one of the most important parts, the soul. So we love this session. Thank you so much, Carla.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. It makes me very excited. Just let me know how it works with your clients.
Hey, can I take a quick picture before we get off for social media?
Yes.
Let's
You ready?
go. One, two.
1, 2. Oops. Okay, one more. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a great
Thank
day,
you so much.
everyone.
Thank you, Carla.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.